Boss Lady News, highlighting businesses, nonprofits, events, talent. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
So, for no further ado, please put your hands together for Miss Dorothea Elain Corbin Hall.
Thank you.
Hey,
Hey, honey. Thanks for having me
how
on.
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you on
I know.
because the viewers don't know, but I've known you as long as I've had my Boss Lady News career here.
Yes.
And you've been here even longer than that.
13 years.
13 years. Oh my goodness. So for my viewers who are just getting a chance to know you, are you originally from the Boston area?
Born and raised in Roxbury.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, being from the Boston area, there's been quite a bit of changes, even changes within the studio.
Yes.
You're familiar with not being in this
Not
location,
being
but
in-
another location.
Yes, in the Roxbury Mall.
It was in the Roxbury Mall before
Yes,
here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I worked for the studio manager, Barbara Barrow Murray,
Oh, wow.
as her assistant when we were over in the old building over
Wow.
at Roxbury Mall.
Wow.
You know, and then she came over here. I didn't come with her then, but she came over here, and I started coming here.
Right.
You know, when they moved, I wanted to see what the hoopla was going to be about.
Right, right.
You know,
And you're one of the producers here. You're also one of the New England International producers. And you have been running an amazing show that highlights artists. Tell us a little bit about your show.
the name of my show is Artist of Color. I've been doing it now for 13 years. I like to showcase artists from the community. I like to showcase artists of color, not only artists, but cultural organizations.
Right.
I like to bring them in, feature them, let the community know who and what they're about.
Right.
Because I found that even though artists are out there, artists of color are there, and they exhibit their pieces, their art, whatever, and cultural organizations also doing the same thing. But I find that they're not given the play they should get.
Right.
Their voice is not really being heard like it should be. Other people use their voice and they say what they want to say. But artists of color, their voice needs to be understood and it needs to be given out to the communities of color, which is why I do that.
So how, if people want to be highlighted on Artists of Color, how can they reach out to you?
Well, one of two ways, or actually one of three ways.
Besides your social media.
Besides my social media, yes, Artists of Color does have a social media page. So either Artists of Color, or you can reach me at AOC Boston, Artists of Color Boston, at gmail.com. Or you can also reach me by phone at 857-492-2150, and we can have a chat.
Do you see or do you find that there's a generational gap between artists?
Yes, because I was at a meeting one time, a few months back, and there's an issue, which I'm sure you might know about, AMARP,
What's that?
African American Artist in Residency Program
Okay.
at Northeastern,
Okay.
right up the street from here.
Right.
They're having issues because of the space that they've been in for 40 years. And now they're trying to get moved out of that space because Northeastern wants to do something else.
Wow. There's always that like push.
Push us out.
Yeah.
Push us out. Where they've been for the past 40 years is not where they started. They started on Leon Street, behind Lovell Street Station. I used to go there.
I remember
as a
that.
teenager.
Yeah.
All the time. I knew all the artists in there. I still know all the artists.
Wow.
But they got moved. And that's another story. But I found at this meeting that I was at, there was this young woman who did not like the way the conversation was going, as far as what the artists that are there should be doing, and they're not. And she didn't get it, but she came out, blurted out to folks who are elder, and I'll tell you what that made me want to do. You can't do it this way. You all are just sitting back. This is what needs to happen. And first of all, she wasn't an artist. Second of all, she wasn't part of AWAP. She was there because she was invited. Her friend that invited her has a different form of art compared to the art that's in that building
Right.
from artists that have been there for eons.
Right.
So there is that gap.
Yeah.
There's a different form
Of that, yeah.
of that.
And we've got a minute before we take the break, but I do want to encourage the young people out there to be vocal in being willing to help all generations with the struggle of being able to be recognized, being able to be heard, be seen.
Be seen.
But also, I feel like this manners issue and how we should treat our elders, how we talk with our
The
elders has become an issue in itself. And I guess I'm maybe in the middle and understanding young people, and if they get
Right.
passionate about something, they're like, let's
That's
go,
the-
let's do it.
Yes.
And then you've got the elders that are like, wait a minute, let's think strategically.
We need to slow down.
Yeah.
But and I hear what you're saying, because like you said, you're in the middle. I'm on the other side. But I have young people. So I have young grandchildren. My oldest grandchildren are 27 and 26. My son is 33. I can tell y'all what my daughter is, because she's the first one. But I listen to them because they are on your side.
Right.
So they feel that,
Right. We're going to take a brief break. And you guys, we're here talking with, as you guys know her, Elain. And she is the producer of Artists of Color. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We've got more to talk about. Hey guys, thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. We're on set with, as you guys know her, as Elain. And she is the producer of Artists of Color. Now, are there any artists out there that you want to kind of mention or bring tribute to
Oh, yeah.
that we should know about?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Remember we were talking about Black Lives Matters? I have a friend who did a 17-piece
Wow.
exhibit. And it's on Black Violence Transformed.
Okay.
Her name is Janetta Tinker.
Okay.
I've known Janetta for about 25 years.
Wow. Wow.
And then I have my other friend, Lamerchi Frazier.
Oh, she's amazing.
She is amazing, and I've known Lamerchi the same length of time, if not a little bit longer. The great and amazing Paul Goodnight.
Yes, yes.
I've known-
Boston's own.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
he's done stuff all around the world.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
They, a few years back, because I cover Roxbury International Film Festival, and I started covering that from the time they started in 1998.
Wow.
A few years back, they did, there was this gentleman who was a director, but he also worked for the post office, but he was director, and he did a film on Paul Goodnight,
Oh, wow.
an amazing documentary.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I got to see it, and Paul was there on the set, and he talked about it when it was all over.
Wow.
And it was an amazing documentary,
Wow.
amazing. People like, and I have to say, people like Lisa Simmons, who is the founder of the Roxbury International Film Festival.
Yes.
When it first started, it was just called the Roxbury Film Festival. And when they had the first one, they only had 8 films.
And I've had Lisa on, and now the Roxbury Film Festival, I want to say it like this, but it gave way to the BAM Festival.
Yeah, it did, but in a different way.
Okay.
Now, Catherine Morris, the founder of BAMS, I just met Catherine a few years back when she first started
Okay.
working on BAMS. So I got to say tribute to her too.
Absolutely.
I was there when she did the first BAMS festival in Franklin Park.
Okay.
So I was there for that. I had her on my show also, so she's another one.
Wow.
You know?
And when we think about, the push out of people, and as a real estate agent, I'm always noticing the interest that people have in a community comes from the history
Of
and
the-
the environment and the art and
Yes.
all of that.